Hey, Jason.
Hey, what's up, Andy?
Do you know what's cool?
I know a lot of things cool, but tell me.
Winning free stuff.
Oh, so cool.
Would you like a signed Saquon Barkley jersey?
Yes.
Would you like a signed DeAndre Hopkins jersey?
Yep.
Would you like a signed Michael Thomas mini helmet?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you're not eligible. But the Foot Clan is. Go to footclangiveaway.com. You can vote for us for a couple of awards, and that'll get you entered in to our giveaway. Just about 10 days left. footclangiveaway.com.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from Draft.com Studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in to another episode. The most recent one we have ever done. Wednesday, December 12th, 2018, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. The Bear is back. Jason is here as well. It's going to be a good show.
I disagree.
Great.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
It's going to be so great.
We have Pump the Brakes on the show, all your fantasy football news, updates, information. We'll be talking Melvin Gordon. We've got the mailbag. We'll answer your questions. What else we got? We got Thursday night preview, right, Brooks?
Yeah, Chargers Chiefs.
I think this is going to be a fun show because this is, look, mailbag, this is the time of year where things both really matter and also don't matter. You know what I mean? Like there's two people.
No, I don't know what you mean.
There's two people out there listening. There's the people in the playoff hunt. They're like yourself and like myself that are they need that advice. They need to make sure that they get the win this week. They bring home the hashtag FootClan titles. And then there's the people listening that, hey, they just missed. They're in it. They're sticking around for next year. But they're asking different types of questions.
They're asking, like, without Mike here, who's doing the mailbag drop?
Right.
Questions like that.
Oh, that is a great question I had not considered.
Yeah. So they'll have the opportunity to find that out.
There's just going to be a lot of fun, is what I'm
it's
saying.
going to be a lot of fun. No doubt about it.
Unlike putting together a 12-foot Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's what you did last night?
I found out
that is huge, by the way.
how tall 12 feet is. It's
your scale,
too tall.
Your whole scale discernment, it doesn't seem to be working. Because if you don't know this, did we mention this on the show?
You
bought
a 15-foot
Yeah.
inflatable snowman for my front yard.
It looks like the Puff Marshmallow Man is outside haunting your neighborhood.
It could swallow my house. It is too big. It has rarely been inflated because when it's inflated, it's a danger to our entire neighborhood.
I mean, it's like too much Christmas spirit. I didn't think it was possible, but you actually have too much.
I do. I don't have a ladder tall enough to decorate this tree. Because the base is so far away from the tip.
Yeah, how did you?
No, it's not. I've got to literally go buy a ladder.
So the top of this tree is empty?
The top of the tree has no decorations. And in fact, not only is it not decorated, but you know how you have to like separate the branches and fluff it out?
It's not that either.
No, because you can't reach the
How'd
thing.
you even get it up there?
Oh, that was a
Did you do it all on the ground and then do the whole
Christmas miracle?
The whole stand-up thing?
I did I'm on like the top rung of the ladder, grabbing the tree with one hand, kind of bending the tree towards me, leaning. I'm just glad I didn't buddy the elf and have to jump on that tree.
So this is the new tradition, is you're going to be hanging up a...
I hate that we have this tree forever now.
I mean, it's impressive once you see it. It dwarfs most everything I've ever seen. So, well, Merry Christmas.
Thanks. But we should pump the brakes on things over 10 feet as Christmas decorations. Public service announcement.
That makes sense, since that's the two decorations you have. You can follow the show at the FF Ballers on Twitter. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. Check us out on Instagram as well. And jointhefoot.com is our fantasy football community year-round. Come hang out with us. We answer your questions on an exclusive extra weekly episode. There's a bunch of perks, giveaways, a lot of cool stuff over at jointhefoot.com for our supporters. Well, Jason mentioned it. It is Wednesday, so... O'Reilly!
O'Reilly!
Auto parts.
Ow!
Not bad, Jay.
Thanks. I had
Not bad.
to use my falsetto, but we got there.
Well, how about me, guys? From
It was
last
bad.
time.
Way better.
Actually, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Brooks. It was real bad.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You
But
were
those-
more. You
but
were more.
compared to last week.
Yes,
Well, you
better.
were more confident, but you were in the completely wrong range.
Yeah, I mean,
You
look,
weren't
there-
down low. You weren't like, oh. That's where
want-
you needed to be, and you were more like a, oh. You see what I'm saying?
Look, it was terrible, but it was
Right.
so much better.
Right.
So they're not
Yeah.
mutually exclusive.
That's all
No.
I'm looking for.
All right. Improvements.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Next week, you might just be bad and incredibly better.
Sure. He's working his way.
All
up.
right.
All right. My pump the brakes this week. It's going to be the man we talked about yesterday. Maybe he's the low-hanging fruit. I don't care. Derrick Henry had himself a game of games, or in his case, a season of seasons, because it had been 16 consecutive games for Derrick Henry in which he was at the 58 total yard mark or lower in terms of rushing performance, and then goes out and throws up 217 and 4. Derrick Henry's not going to do this unless he has found a very, very special illegal substance. I don't think this is the norm for Mr. Derrick Henry. The Jacksonville Jaguars quit on that game nice and early. A 99-yard touchdown is not, that helps the equation. And the week before, 10 for 40, 8 for 30, 9 for 46.
He could still fall into another touchdown.
He always can. He always can. He has 9 on the season, and if you take away the 4, he still had 5. So,
Right.
so I mean, he had scored 5 times in the previous 6 games.
Yeah, I mean,
A touchdown's pumping the brakes on 17 for 238 and 4, and bringing that down.
So
to
what is your expectation then for
Sure.
Henry? What would you give me a line? What do you expect Derrick Henry carries, yards, point, touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, your best case scenario, in my opinion, is 11 for 55 and 1.
11 for how much?
55.
That was as Brooks as it gets. Oh! My pump the brakes this week is Kenyan Drake. Look, I love Kenyan Drake. He's talented. He's Kenyan great. He's one of my favorite players since he came out of college. He should be getting the ball 15 to 20 times a game and dominating for fantasy football and for the Miami Dolphins, but he's not. In fact, if you look at his last 3 games, he had 8 carries, 7 carries, 6 carries. What's next? 5 carries?
It's a whole 12 days of Christmas thing.
Look, I realize he had a great fantasy week last week, right? You look at the final box score and you go, he had, a catch for 55 yards and a touchdown, another 55. Oh! But the reality is he had the crazy once-in-a-lifetime miracle play at the end of a game to save a performance. And it really, his last few weeks, he's been getting a touch. I mean, he has
He's
2
found a way.
He's found a way to score. 2 touchdowns 3 weeks ago. Touchdown last week, a touchdown the week in between. So you're starting to get confident in Kenyan Drake. Then you have the matchup against Minnesota in Minnesota, and you go, well, goodness, Seattle just ran all over Minnesota, and maybe I can play Kenyan Drake this week. I'm not as confident as your maybe. I would prefer to bench Kenyan Drake. I think going on the road when he's not getting the volume against a very good rush defense, you're going to have that touchdown to be happy. I just don't see a world where he has more than 60 yards. So you're praying
He's
for a
always
touchdown.
high risk.
Yeah. And I've said before, you've got to start his bad to get his good. In the playoffs right now, in this matchup, I don't want to take that risk.
And that play was his only target in the whole game, too.
Right. So
some
essentially
reason.
he was 6 carries for a couple of yards, no targets. He was not really that
I will not
involved.
call that a target either.
No,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah, so really 0 targets.
Here's the thing, though. I know that as a fantasy football fan and a Kenyan Drake fan, you are embittered by Mr. Behol's decisions regarding the workload for Kenyan Drake.
Yes, 100%.
But Kenyan Drake last year, multiple injury reports, knee strains, hamstring strains.
Oh, since college.
This year, shoulder injuries. If they give him the work you want him to have, he'll probably not play football.
That is 100% fair. It's actually worth bringing up in the pump the brakes concept here that he is dealing with a shoulder injury that every game he has continued to re-aggravate.
You could argue Adam Gase is pumping the brakes on him all year long.
And specifically with regards to the shoulder injury, he's saying, man, I don't want to use him too much. And so, 5 carries. That's the thing. 5 carries is a legitimately realistic outcome for Kenyan Drake in this game. How could you start a guy that could realistically have 5 carries, nothing else? That's not enough involvement.
Yeah.
And then a bad defense. So
Kenyan Drake or Derrick Henry.
Oh, gosh. I'm going Derrick Henry for sure. Derrick Henry will have more carries, a better matchup. I'm not telling people Derrick Henry is a must start, but they're not that close in my rankings, to be honest. I think they're about 10 spots apart. I've got Kenyan Drake down outside. He's basically a running back 3.
Okay. You're not a fan this week.
It pains me.
News and notes from around the league.
By the way, that was Pump the Brakes with O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Here's some news for you. This is the big one. We may talk about this for a while. Melvin Gordon says he is feeling, quote, much better and expects to be a game-time call on Thursday night. He practiced. Was it limited yesterday, Brooks? Wasn't that the designation?
Yeah.
Look, this is the big playoff decision for tons of people. If Melvin Gordon is active, if he's inactive, how do you feel about him? Does Justin Jackson, if you're expecting the ability to play Justin Jackson, then Melvin Gordon is made active, do you bench Justin Jackson immediately? Do you put Gordon in immediately? What is your thought process here, and how do people go about the Melvin Gordon conundrum? Now, we're mercifully, it's Thursday night.
That's great news for fantasy owners. You don't have to make Thursday night decisions based on not knowing what's going to happen with Melvin Gordon on Sunday or worst case on Monday. So you get a heads up into what your week's going to be like. But if Melvin Gordon is active, Justin Jackson should not be. And I understand Austin Eckler has had plenty of value behind Melvin Gordon in the games where Melvin Gordon has played. Austin Eckler is not going to play this week. I don't believe it's been officially ruled out, but he's not playing.
Extremely doubtful.
Yeah, I believe he is also in concussion protocol on a Thursday night game. It's just he's not clearing. So it's going to be either the Justin Jackson show or Melvin Gordon with Justin Jackson. I think in a pinch you could put Justin Jackson in the lineup because maybe Melvin Gordon re-aggravates, gets injured, leaves, or Justin Jackson has a good game while Gordon is in there. But I am not going to imbue what Austin Eckler was doing to Justin Jackson and in that backup role. It is rare for a backup to be as good as Eckler has been in games where the starter is active, and I'm not going to just take my guess that Justin Jackson can play that role.
No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't. He's proven nothing. Justin Jackson has proven nothing in his career. Austin Eckler has played a complementary role to great success. There's a big difference. I'm with you on that. And Melvin Gordon, for what it's worth, every time that he's been in this kind of a situation for fantasy owners, he's gotten you what you needed. Like
yes.
if you were worried about him a few weeks ago, even the game he got injured.
So let me ask.
He had a monster touchdown before he was injured on a game he was coming back.
Let me ask this. This is the follow-up, right? Melvin Gordon is active, let's say, hypothetically speaking. But you have other decent options. You still have to worry about the re-aggravation on play 2 for Melvin Gordon dealing with, a bum knee. Would you play Melvin Gordon over Chris Carson?
Yes.
I would not.
Really?
I would play Chris Carson over Melvin Gordon because I think Chris Carson is a great play. How about Sony Michel?
I'll play Melvin Gordon. Let's do it this way. I will play Melvin Gordon over every single player outside of Gurley, Barkley, McCaffrey, Lindsey, Kamara, Elliott.
So Leonard
So
Fournette.
he would be my number 7 overall, yes, over Leonard Fournette.
Okay. Did I say Lindsey Fournette?
No, you didn't.
That's good. That's what my brain said. All right. I think that's enough Melvin Gordon.
I'd play him under. It's the playoffs. You want to lose with Melvin Gordon on your bench?
No. I don't want to lose with Melvin Gordon in my lineup either.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Mike Tomlin left the door open for James Conner to play this week.
Of course he did.
James Conner's ankle's probably going to close the door.
Yep.
But we'll find out. Raiders have waived C.J. Anderson.
Oh, my goodness. He's going for a record.
Yeah, I mean, C.J. Anderson is
How many weeks are left in the season? 3. So 2. There he goes.
to the 20.
Tugboating to the 21.
22.
Yeah, CJ Anderson,
his career's over.
there's 2 weeks left of fantasy football. Shame on you if you play your championship in week 17. 3 weeks left of NFL football, which I believe means he can sign for probably 4 more teams before the end of regular season, and who knows, including playoffs.
See, I thought you were going with there's a couple weeks left in the regular season, and then also there's a couple weeks left in his playing days.
I hope not for my dynasty team.
Eagles have placed
Who thought Frank Gore would outlast C.J. Anderson
Oh, yeah.
last season?
He is he's infinite. He is
Well,
all.
Gore is all, yeah.
Eagles have placed Corey Clement on IR and signed Boston Scott.
That's actually a really good signing. Boston Scott's comp to me was like a Darren Sproles type, and maybe a long-term I don't know. I'm going to keep my eyes
a dynasty glance.
on. Yeah.
By the way, Mike will be returning to the Footballers Fold on Sunday morning for the live stream. So he's with some family this week, doing family things, and then he will return on Thursday in full force. I have no doubt he's been drinking beard tonics.
Oh, he's got to grow the beard out. But unfortunately, the beard tonics are hair tonics. They make all your hair grow.
Oh,
so he's going to need to wear hats again.
Yeah, it's going to be gross. Isaiah Crowell spotted in a walking boot. Elijah McGuire is very, very interesting and sneaky this week.
Yeah.
But he also didn't practice.
I was going to say Crowell didn't practice. McGuire didn't practice. Cannon didn't practice. No running backs practiced. So look for C.J. Anderson to sign soon.
It would have been nice if the Jets took the day off, no practice.
Yeah.
This
is
huge news.
unbelievable.
Monstrous news.
Just crazy.
The Vikings fired their offensive coordinator.
Up and coming. They're probably one of the most talked about guys for a head coaching job next season. The whole year has been John DeFilippo. He was in consideration for potential head coach jobs last year, but he needed to step up after his Philadelphia days. Goes to the Vikings in what was assumed to be a 1-year pit stop before his first head coaching gig.
It didn't make any sense.
Fired.
I mean, I don't understand anything that's going on in Minnesota. I don't.
They have a lot of good pieces.
You spend $84 million on a quarterback. You bring in John DeFilippo.
You got Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs.
Well, and if your whole point in spending that money is to give Kirk Cousins the ability in a spread type of offense to succeed, and now you want to, you're hearing he wants to run the football.
Right.
And Mike Zimmer, it's never a good sign when the head coach, or in Jacksonville's case, Tom Coughlin, the frustration gets to the point where you feel like the best option you have is to take everything over. Like the smartest people in the world that I know how to delegate roles so that they can exceed in their own role. Mike Zimmer's not going to have more success just kicking John DeFilippo to the curb and then taking over play calling half the time and running the football with Dalvin Cook and not using your $84 million man.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I wondered, like, okay, let's say you're an up-and-coming offensive coordinator. You want that Vikings job next year?
Yeah, I probably do.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, people will take jobs anywhere.
Well, because what's crazy is if he doesn't fire John DeFilippo and Filippo has a bad season, I think he still gets a head coaching job. But you don't give a head coaching job to a guy that was just fired midway through the season last year.
No,
Anyways.
No, but he'll be somebody's offensive coordinator, I bet.
Yeah.
And
Philadelphia.
What changes in your mind? Is this more optimism and hope because they've been so bad and any change is good for Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook? Or is
this late in the season, I mean, with just a couple weeks left, I don't expect much to change. The one thing that we do know is that Zimmer wants to run the ball more. So maybe Dalvin Cook gets a slight bump in here because you assume his volume and opportunity is going to come. Latavius Murray would as well, but he's irrelevant right now as the backup. So I'm not going to change my opinion. Like for this current week's rankings, I'm not really changing anything from last week's rankings. The offense is not going to drastically change. It's in place. It's too late in the season to just go, okay, guys, I got a new playbook.
Last week against New England, Miami only gave up 2.55 per carry on 29 carries to Sony Michel and James White and company. They were pretty stout against Buffalo, pretty stout against Indianapolis. They had been pretty bad. They're 24th on the year, but
Who are you talking about?
the Miami Dolphins, the team that the Minnesota Vikings are playing this week.
Oh, gotcha.
So when you talk about Dalvin Cook, projecting him, the potential of a workload increase, I still like Dalvin Cook. But, I mean, Dalvin Cook's carries right now, 9, 10, 9, 13.
Well, and that's why, that's why.
That's why he's frustrated. Yeah.
Zimmer's like, why do we have this superstar running back supposedly, and he's getting 10 or fewer carries every game? That would be frustrating to me as well. Until you go, well, look at what happens when he gets a carry and the offensive line can't block.
Who's more talented, Dalvin Cook or Kenyan Drake in your mind?
I think Kenyan Drake is more talented, but I don't think Kenyan Drake can.
He's not a full-time.
No, he could not withstand the volume of a bell cow running back. I mean, that was the thing coming out of even college. He was Alabama, right? I believe. And he was not a. He was never the starter, which is rare for an NFL player to just not be the starter and come in.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into the mailbag. I don't know who's doing the mailbag drop. Probably
I think it's Jay Grizz.
me.
I think it's Jay Grizz.
Oh, fantastic,
Yeah.
Grizz getting it in.
He wanted to.
But I want to thank Omaha Steaks not only for sponsoring, but more so for the deal they have right now. Because every time it comes around, we're waiting for it. It is such a good deal. I get it. Mike gets it. Andy gets it. We all are always stocking our freezers and the freezers of our loved ones with the highest quality, most awesome meats imaginable at an unbelievable deal. Omaha Steaks is a fifth-generation, family-owned company with over 100 years of experience of delivering perfectly aged beef, hand-cut by master butchers in, you guessed it, Omaha. Right now, Omaha Steaks is giving an amazing limited-time offer. You're going to get 74% off the family gift package. It's originally $195. It's only $49.99. Here's what's in it. 4 hand-cut top sirloin steaks, 2 premium pork chops, 4 chicken fried steaks, 4 Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 kielbasa sausages, all beef meatballs, 4 perfectly browned potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apple tartlets, plus 4 more burgers for free. Get this limited time package for only $49.99. When you go to omahasteaks.com, type fantasy in the search bar and add the family gift package to your cart. That's omahasteaks.com, the search bar fantasy.
We also want to thank Pristine Auction for sponsoring the show. Mike Evans, up on the wall, the autographed jersey looking nice. Yesterday on pristineauction.com, which, by the way, every single day, hundreds of daily auctions. A signed T.Y. Hilton jersey with his 199 yards receiving last week, $85. Sterling Shepard signed logo football from the Giants, $55. Melvin Gordon signed Chargers mini chrome speed helmet, $92. Devontae Adams signed chrome mini helmet, $95. Every single day, hundreds of different players, hundreds of different options, hundreds of different chances to get an amazing gift for somebody that you love.
And you don't have to
What
pay
makes
unless
a better
you win
impact?
the auction.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best place for autographed, authentic sports memorabilia. PristineAuction.com. Jay Grizz, you ready? Okay, he looks ready.
Mailbag.
Wow, that was actually way better than I do it. That's not even a joke.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the mailbag, well timed, Jay.
I wonder how he's feeling about his Bears this week. How are you feeling about?
Let me tell you how he's feeling about his Bears. Because if you know a Bears fan, and let's say you're friends with them on social media, you know how they're feeling.
Yeah,
Because
they popped their collar.
their collar is popped.
They
Their
are very
social
excited.
media is letting everyone know that they are a Bears fan.
I have Aaron Rodgers at 18 this week. This is
That's-
fantasy playoffs. I have him at 18. You feel like you want to play Aaron Rodgers against the Bears this week?
I feel like I would be willing to play him, and no, I don't want to play him. I mean, there's just better. There's too many better options.
Can we do a Rodgers or look at some guys? Because we had a lot of those questions.
Why don't you?
Why
don't you do a Rodgers or? By the way, Rodgers hasn't had 3 touchdown passes since week 5.
How about that same game? I think that one's the most interesting to me. Rodgers or Mitchell Trubisky? You want the home quarterback who has looked. I mean, last week
Trubisky.
He looked bad. He's coming off of a bum. It's a shoulder injury for Trubisky, right?
Yeah, I have him at 17. I have Rodgers at 18. So,
yeah,
there you go.
that's why I brought it up. I've got them pretty close in my rankings as well. You'd go Trubisky? Man.
No,
if you had both on your roster,
I'd probably be dealing with who I want to lose, who I'd feel like I losing with Aaron Rodgers on my bench is mental.
Would you go here? Let's say, so this is a hypothetical world, a little crazy. You've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got Mitchell Trubisky. Do you look to the waiver wire for someone like Josh Allen? Would you play Josh Allen or Dak Prescott off the waiver wire?
I'd play both of them over Aaron Rodgers, and I'll tell you why.
But you would do it. Like,
yes,
you would put
I would
them
actually
in your lineup.
do it, yes. Yes, Aaron Rodgers. You think at home against Arizona was a good matchup?
I do.
233-1. Do you think at home against Atlanta's defense is a good, without Mike McCarthy weighing him down?
That is a great, perfect matchup.
196-2.
That's not good.
It's not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is not going to throw. Now you got to go into Chicago? Into Chicago?
Well, it worked out well for Jared Goff. By the way, it didn't. Jared Goff played the whole game, finished with negative fantasy points.
By the way, I'm
a
liar.
So if Lamar Jackson starts him also?
Lamar Jackson, yeah.
Yes.
If he starts
Josh Allen, yes. Carson Wentz, yes. Dak Prescott, yes.
Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Matt Ryan?
Yes. Matt Ryan's at home against Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with the Matt Ryan. Right now I'm doing the Matt Ryan Carson Wentz thing. I know a lot of people don't like Wentz, but I'm thinking
you do that every week in Dynasty.
I do. But Wentz,
I guarantee you picked the wrong one.
That's true. That is true.
It's fantasy football.
All right.
Yeah, I had to bring Rodgers up because it's just one of those weeks that's wild for deciding on quarterback. He's only number 9 on the year going into Chicago. It's hands up. If you need upside at all, you're not going to get it. That would be the overarching advice.
It's just amazing that phrase can come out. Like, if you need upside,
Rodgers isn't your guy.
Don't play Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That's the truth, though.
Grody.
If you have a question for this podcast, go to the website, thefantasyfootballers.com, click the Submit a Question button, or dial the voicemail hotline, 302-464-TFFB. Rankings are up. Start-sit tool is up for Week 15. We'll have the Thursday night preview on the show today. There's a couple of Saturday games this week. They're going to really stretch out your playoff matchup so you can, figure out exactly what's going on. One step at a time. Maybe more information will help you make a different start-sit decision on Sunday morning if you've got 3 games in the book. Can always help. Let's go ahead and jump into a voicemail question.
Hi, ballers. This is Steven from Severna Park, Maryland. Love the show. Just wanted to ask about your outlook for Adrian Peterson. Do you think he's a startable play for the last 2 weeks of fantasy playoffs? Thanks.
Nope. No, I think Adrian Peterson is a guy that you're going to have a really hard time. Look, I realize Derrick Henry just destroyed Jacksonville's rush defense to the tune of all of the yards. But that's the matchup this week is Jacksonville, and it's in Jacksonville. So I don't think that defense is going to be rolling over. Adrian Peterson, look, the offense is just not good right now with a third-string quarterback and third-string guards. It's not helpful to Adrian Peterson. Chris Thompson is back, and then the week after, you're on the road in Tennessee. I don't think you can play Adrian Peterson the rest of the year.
Would you play Derrick Henry over him then?
Yes.
See, if Peterson doesn't fall into the end zone, you're going to be destroyed by him. That's probably the situation right now. And the odds of him getting in there have been reduced with the quarterback and guard situation.
Yeah, 100%. And I realize he had a 90-yard run a couple weeks ago. Adrian Peterson can break something off, but I'm not willing to take that risk, especially when you consider, look, 2 2 weeks ago he had 9 carries. Last week he had 10 carries.
I'd play Chris Thompson over him both weeks.
Right, because if the game gets out of control, which you expect it to with what's happened to the injuries to Washington, then Adrian Peterson's game scripted out. No, you can't play him.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter question from Chad Johnson. I don't think it's the
Ocho?
I don't think it's the Ocho.
Oh.
Could be. Can we trust James Conner if he's active? You have to. If they activate James Conner, I'm going to have enough confidence that they're going to use James Conner.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where it's going to depend on what's on your roster, but similar to the Melvin Gordon situation, I would play James Conner. I'm not going to play someone like a Derrick Henry over James Conner. But Gus Edwards, how would you feel about that? Gus Edwards against Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I'd play James Conner if he's active.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I have more confidence in Melvin Gordon coming off the injury because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, trusting him, yeah, I think you have to. He's too high a priority for your team. I can't imagine you have somebody to pivot to that is much better. I mean, would you play James Conner if he's active or Sony Michel?
I would play Conner.
Yeah, me too. Instagram, Nick Pretzel.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Yo, what am I to do with the pickup of the week, Justin Jackson? Have him on Thursday? Do I await Connor's status and then play Jalen?
Yeah, this is
a situation where they need to decide whether to start Justin Jackson. Let's presume Gordon's out, or do you wait to hear about Connor and play Jalen Samuels if Connor's out?
No, this is one where you've got to take what you know when you know it. So on Thursday, if Melvin Gordon is out, you're going to need to start Justin Jackson because you don't know what's going on with Connor versus Jalen.
I think we should weigh in on what we believe about James Conner too. Do we believe he'll actually end up active? I don't think so. So because of that, I'm putting the odds at 90-10 he sits.
And here's another. I mean, you could follow this up and say, okay, let's say we know. Let's say he's ruled out before Thursday's game. So Jalen Samuels is the the only guy there other than goal line vulturing of Stephen Ridley. Who would you rather start in that situation, Justin Jackson or Jalen?
Yeah, I'll play Justin Jackson.
Me as well.
Yeah. Let's go to another voicemail question.
What's up, footballers? This is Alf here. Just wondering who y'all think the coolest guy in the NFL is, someone that y'all would like to hang out with on the weekends. Love the show, guys.
The coolest guy.
Someone you'd want to hang out with on the weekends from the NFL.
Well, J.J. Watt's in that category.
Oh,
I'd like to hang out with J.J. Watt.
Awesome. That's a great one. I wasn't thinking about him. You know who I go to is Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Just seems like just a cool guy that we'd have fun. He'd joke around. And, yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
Oh, Pat.
How
Patty
about
Mayonnaise.
George Kittle?
Oh.
George Kittle would be
he loves
fun.
fantasy.
He's the next
That's
Gronk.
true. He would be able. That's what I want. Juju, come on.
Oh, yes.
Jason, you'd hang out with Juju.
Get out of here, Carson.
Play some Fortnite with Juju.
Seats taken. I mean, Wentz, you're not allowed in the car. It's two-seater, and Juju's riding shotgun.
Let's ask this question. Who do you want to hang out with more next year, Antonio Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Shut your stupid mouth. Shut your stupid mouth.
Why would I need to shut?
You got a stupid mouth.
Why would I need to
shut it?
Why would I need to shut my stupid mouth?
Shut your stupid mouth. Because I am the Antonio Brown owner in Dynasty.
Yeah, and what's the big deal? He's really good, right?
He's the best wide receiver, and there's never going to be another wide receiver. He's
So
going to play
hang out
until
with
he's 80 years old. And he's great, and I'm not afraid at all.
He's about 10 years closer to 80 than Juju is.
Shut your stupid mouth. Next question.
Brooks, if you're in a dynasty league, who do you want?
Right now, it's Juju.
Okay.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh!
Start of the year, it was AB. Still,
it is clearly Juju, but that's incredible. Like if I could,
Is it painful?
it is very painful. It is genuinely very painful. I hate it with everything
So
I have.
you
If I
had
could,
Jordan Howard and you had Antonio Brown in your dynasty
yes,
roster.
have
Yeah.
yeah, and
More of a had.
it's like at the end of the year. I feel like I would be insulting someone to say, "Hey, I'll give you Antonio Brown for Juju."
It would be like, what don't I know?
Yeah,
And it would be like you can't.
but I'm
going to
offer it.
You can't do it that
so
way.
I'm still going to offer it.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
And I'll get rejected
Not
quick.
going to work.
That's insane.
I know.
A star has been born. Go on.
Facebook question from Mark Holman. Hey, ballers, Kenny G has not been so smooth. Can I trust him in week 2 of the playoffs? My only other options are Dante Pettis or Calvin Ridley. I would say yes. I would play Kenny G over both of those players.
I would as well.
He faced up against Patrick Peterson this past week.
And it wasn't
and
just...
they didn't throw the ball because they ran the ball.
Yes, I was just going to say, it's not just Patrick Peterson. It's the fact that, I mean, look, the Lions won the game and they passed the ball 4 times in the second half.
Yeah, they play Buffalo this week. It's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I would play Kenny G over those 2 options.
Twitter from Brian Wentworth, the second, not the first, the second.
I love the second. You don't usually see that. I have a second. Usually you see the junior.
Yeah.
You skip the second and go to the third.
What do you go with?
The second. The second is so much better.
With the
second is
the
better.
Roman numerals?
Yes, I.
You don't go like 2 ND?
No, that would be so that would be shameful.
Yeah. Or you put the second at the front?
At the front?
Yeah, you just say the second Jason Moore.
Well, then you'd have to have the word "the" in there, which is fine.
Okay. Is Tyler Boyd droppable?
No, Tyler Boyd's not droppable.
I'm not. I'll say this: he's not droppable. He's also not very exciting to me.
What if you're dropping him for a Week 16 defense?
Well, I mean, do you have another wideout to play?
Right.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's a bench
And does
player.
your opponent look this week? You've got Oakland for Tyler Boyd and the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're actually going to be able to compete in that game.
Yeah.
And Tyler Boyd, I mean, 7 for 85 and a touchdown 3 weeks ago, 6 for 97 2 weeks ago. These are great games.
He's a wide receiver too.
And then last week, 3 for 52. He disappointed you, but he still had over 50 yards. He's the clear-cut number 1 read there for O'Driscoll.
I think I read he has 70% of the vertical passing targets in the last 2 weeks. So if you're getting that volume, that target share, and the throws are downfield, you have to take your chances.
Put it this way. If you drop Tyler Boyd, I am going to pick him up.
Yeah, right. Let's go to this question here from Instagram. Cable Hall. Oh, sorry, Caleb. Not Cable.
Okay.
Caleb.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have this name very close to your family.
Yeah, that's my son's name.
Okay.
My son's name is Cable.
But you spelled it Cable. Yes.
Yeah.
Caleb spelled
It's
Cable.
Caleb spelled Cable. Who has more value in a keeper league? Aaron Jones or Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb. I believe Nick Chubb has more value. Here's why. He was drafted to be the next main running back of this team by the current regime. Arrows pointing up. There's not going to be a huge changeover. In Green Bay, you're going to have a different head coach. You're going to have different, if they draft a running back, I'm not going to be surprised. This regime is not the one, I believe, responsible for Aaron Jones. It just does not seem to me as guaranteed. That's not to say Aaron Jones isn't as good a player, couldn't be a better fantasy option, but I would much rather have Nick Chubb in a keeper league than I would Aaron Jones.
You realize that Cleveland still has a chance to make the playoffs?
I do. So does Green Bay. Identical chance. I believe they're tied in record.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier in the NFC right now. I have Green Bay with a 3% playoff chance. Cleveland under 1%.
There you go.
But it'll be interesting. There are a few. I mean, Denver's still alive. 5% chance to make the playoffs. The Giants still alive.
Yeah,
not
same,
dead yet.
What's the Giants' record? Isn't it the same?
The same as the Giants are 5-8. Green Bay's 5-7-1. So
crazy.
Green Bay could end up 8-7-1. Who's the biggest disappointment in the NFL this year?
Well,
is it Jacksonville?
It has to be Jacksonville because Jacksonville was like you might want to say Green Bay or Minnesota. High expectations, definitely disappointing. But the expectations for Jacksonville were potential Super Bowl. And they've gone from not like, oh, they might miss the playoffs. They've gone to, we're going for a top pick. We need to replace our quarterback that we are probably going to cut in the offseason. Our man upstairs who's not the head coach is maybe just going to take over everything because of the implosion. No, Jacksonville has to be – they won the award for biggest disappointment.
I figured I wanted to say this on the show at some point. Every good thing that I have ever said in any capacity about Hugh Jackson, I take back.
God, I'm so happy. Oh, that deserves the Goff. This is a celebration moment. Yes, the realization has come full circle.
He's like a plague.
He is good at losing.
Like talented.
Like that is actually like here's
like
the
on
thing.
a resume.
Yes, Jeff Fisher gets a lot of grief, but Jeff Fisher can go 500.
Right.
Hugh Jackson has a special talent.
He has a wheelhouse.
And that's to lose all around him. How have the Bengals done since bringing him on board?
They haven't won.
0-4?
They're not doing well.
How have the Browns done since Hugh Jackson left?
Yeah, above 500.
Yeah, they're real good.
It doesn't make sense, but yet it's starting to
make
make sense.
But what you have just done is a great service to our listeners to know, like this is what you do in life. You correct your mistakes. You turn away from what is wrong and turn to what is right.
Yeah, I always tell my children, don't lean in to the wrong thing you did. You need to just,
turn around.
Say you're sorry.
Go back. Make a
Move
U-turn.
on. Move on.
Make a U-turn. It's okay. We all get things wrong. U-turn and go away from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So proud of you.
Hugh Jackson's terrible. This question comes in off of Instagram from Chris Q. With next season already in sight, what is one thing I can do as a commissioner to keep people interested in the league during the offseason? I don't want any turnover this year. I have many suggestions. What do you have, Jay?
Listen to the podcast, this one.
Well,
Tell your friends about this podcast.
It's
listen.
legitimately a good option because we go year-round. So if you want to have people thinking about fantasy football, we're already doing that for you.
Yeah.
So you have some fun discussions.
And if you're not aware, we in the off-season shows, they are a lot of fun. I mean, it's we can be a lot looser. It's not everything is written for us. It's not always like, okay, we got to look at this matchup and that matchup and what happened this week and that week. We get deeper on some stuff, right?
Yeah, strategy.
We can dig far deeper, and we get really surface on some things and just play.
Super shallow.
Super shallow. Like it's the shallowest heart that has ever been. It's Scrooged before the ghosts come.
This is not a good sell for the off-season show.
No, it's not.
I'll throw in something. We always say during the season, make sure you have a league communication, a Facebook group or something.
Yes.
Keep posting in there. Super Bowl, free agency.
Well, and if you're a dynasty or keeper, having draft pick trading is crucial.
Oh, I love off-season transactions. That's really, the truth is, how do I keep my league involved? You're going to have a really hard time keeping your league involved in the offseason if there's nothing to do. Like what? How do you keep people involved in the Olympics? Like only if they are an Olympic athlete are they involved in between the 4 years between the Olympics.
You don't have a
nothing,
paper chain waiting for the next one?
No, there's nothing to do.
Not reading up all the following the Olympics pods?
Make it a keeper league. Have draft pick trading. Do those things. Then transactions can keep happening in the offseason. It's a lot of fun.
Instagram question, what's your best strategy to stop yourself from tinkering too much with your lineup? Which is ironic because I just...
Camping?
Go camp. Set your lineup and go camping?
Yes. It's not advised because late breaking news is unheard. But,
there's a fine balance between doing your due diligence, making the right decision, and then second-guessing it, overthinking it, tweaking, adjusting. If you sign – here's a sign you're over-adjusting. You sign and replace a certain position 3 or 4 times during the week. That's probably you lose a little confidence.
Here's a tip. Put on put on the screen time. If you got an iPhone, put on the screen time features and the parental features, and only allow that app to be used like a good amount. You get 5 hours a week in that app. You better use it wisely because come Sunday,
if you can't do enough tweaks in 5 hours,
well, whatever the number is, and then you're always paranoid that you're gonna get there Sunday and you can't open your app to make your final transaction.
Well, I told you yesterday I've obsessed about kickers this week because I'm trying to optimize my lineup, and I'm like, what am I doing? Do I really know whether these 5 kickers are going to outperform each other?
I want the
metric?
Next week. You need to let us know.
Did I make the right choice?
Well, not only did you make the right choice, but were your thoughts actually meaningful at all?
Right. Yeah.
Thursday Night Breakdown.
Melvin Gordon.
We're gonna freak out right now.
Freak out!
Tyreek Hill. He practiced yesterday.
So Andy and I, this is Foot Clan, you need to be aware of this.
Yeah.
We are diametrically opposed on Tyreek Hill. Two different leagues. In the league of record, Andy is playing the Pat Mahomes Tyreek Hill stack in the semifinals. In the Dynasty League, I am playing against Tyreek Hill. So, really, if Tyreek Hill has a blow-up game, Andy's in, I'm out. If he has a dud, Andy is going to have a hard time to be out. I'm going to have a hard time to not be in.
Yeah, it's a heck of a Thursday matchup, and one that I think all actual fans of football want to see Tyreek Hill active alongside Patrick Mahomes, the no-look crook.
To update on the no-look pass, we had all seen the no-look pass from the back where it looks like it's a no-look pass, but you still don't believe it is because it was 20 yards downfield on a crossing pattern around a defender perfectly in stride. You assumed his helmet was facing this way, but his eyes were on the target. Nope! NFL Films had the front camera, and he literally threw a 20-yard deep crossing laser beam on pinpoint accuracy while looking to the other side of the field. What an idiot and a genius.
Crazy like a fox.
He reminds me a lot of myself. Right?
You and Patrick Mahomes,
what a
athletic profiles
idiot.
and everything, almost identical. Here's something very interesting. Now, you're obviously playing Travis Kelce, and nobody's going to say don't play Travis Kelce. He may have the best week you've ever seen, especially if Tyreek is limited. But here's a very interesting fact pointed out by Kyle when researching this matchup. The last 4 games that Travis Kelce has played against the Chargers.
Oh, breaking news!
Really? Do I need to hit the button?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I guess my decision has gotten a little bit easier. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, dealing with a back issue, is not expected to play this week. Whew!
Well, that's funny because I saw he didn't practice. I thought nothing of it.
Yeah, that's Matt Ryan is going to get the start for sure.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, big ouch. Not that you were excited about Jeffrey, but you can't be at all. Not that you were excited about Tate, but you can't be now.
You didn't know what to do with the running back game. Now you do. Bench him.
Yeah.
I mean, Ertz should still be okay.
There's a nice bounce
Foles has
back.
come in and performed well, obviously, as the Super Bowl champion, as the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
But we also have seen what happens when Foles has a good season and follows it up.
That's crazy.
In a need to start, and there's a reason he's back up.
Crazy. This is the point I was about to drop on you. Travis Kelce's last 4 games against the Chargers, 1 for 6, 6 for 46, 1 for 1, 1 for 8. 3 of the last 4 games against the Chargers, 1 catch, no touchdowns in 4 straight games against the Chargers. It's a divisional matchup. They know what makes the offense tick in Kansas City. I wouldn't be surprised that the focus is on Travis Kelce again. Now, you always play him, and they've never had Patrick Mahomes for 3 of those 4 games. So it's just interesting when you see trends like that span a 4-game stretch. Kelce's amazing, but the Chargers seem to have his number.
Yeah, I mean, these teams have played each other before, but it was week 1. It was the opening week of the season. The Chiefs scored 38 points. The Chargers scored 28. It was one of those things where this was the original coming out party for Pat Mahomes as he just ripped apart the Chargers.
Chargers defense this year, 4th against quarterbacks, 7th against wideouts. None of it matters. You're playing your Chiefs. The real question is Spencer Ware. He did not practice on Monday or Tuesday. Where is he, Jason?
He's in trouble. He's in trouble because he's not only dealing with that shoulder injury, but also a hamstring injury. I think you have to give a legitimate look at C.J. Anderson, who I expect him to sign any minute.
Stop it. No.
Damian Williams
would dead.
Damian Williams would be the next man up. He actually got more run than you would think last week, and while he is not talented, this Chiefs offense is extremely talented. There will be points being put up, and Damian Williams will be involved. So he's a must-own. Like if
Yeah.
He should be on 100% of leagues right now because there's a chance Spencer Ware doesn't play. If Spencer Ware doesn't play, Damian Williams to me is a top 12 option. Just whoever it is. If Damian Williams were to go out and Darrell Williams or Charkandrick West, whoever is the primary running back behind Pat Mahomes, I'm going to put in my fantasy lineup.
By the way, a little update here. Beckham did not practice today. Still monitoring Odell Beckham Jr. with the quad injury. To me, it's 50-50 right now.
Oh,
that's about how I feel.
There's a great chance he does not play. I mean, he was a late surprising
scratch, but he's been dealing with it since week 12. So, with them still having a minor chance of making the playoffs, being at home against Tennessee, obviously better than going on the road for his chances to get out there and give it a go. But I'm not feeling super confident yet in Odell Beckham, and him not practicing does not help that. Spencer Ware, if he's in there, you're playing him.
Yes.
If he's not, you probably shouldn't. Tyreek Hill, Chris Conley, Kelvin Benjamin. Is Kelvin Benjamin going to be active this week?
Kelvin Benjamin,
I think he
will be active. From what we've heard from the beat reporters is that his involvement will be sparingly. Now, everything goes out the window if the Chargers, are putting up 30 points and it becomes a shootout. I could see him getting on the field more. Pick him up, that's fine. Wait and see. You definitely are not starting Kelvin Benjamin in any way, shape, or form right now. If Tyreek Hill is out, you're not starting Kelvin Benjamin. Don't be that crazy. You're starting Chris Conley in that situation, which Tyreek Hill should be fine playing. It really is just you play Spencer Ware. If he's out, you play Damian Williams. You play Tyreek. You play Kelsey. If Tyreek's out, you play Chris Conley. That's the Chiefs' side of the ball. The only question is, if Spencer Ware's in, would you toy with the idea of still playing Damian Williams?
I really wouldn't, no.
I don't think I would either, even though he had 2 touchdowns last week with Spencer Ware in the game. And he could end up all right. It's very reminiscent to our conversation on Justin Jackson if Melvin Gordon is in with Austin Eckler out of the way. I just don't want to trust him, especially since Damian Williams stinks.
Phillip Rivers is in there. Could be a great game for him. Justin Jackson, Melvin Gordon, we talked about that whole situation.
It's what wide receivers, man?
Well, Keenan Allen is a locked and loaded start, obviously. But then you decide Mike Williams, Tyrell. The snap counts made me think Tyrell would break out, but I think I'm playing Mike Williams over Tyrell right now. It seems like Rivers is gained trust, third downs, red zone. Mike Williams would be the – would you rather play Mike Williams or Robbie Anderson after Robbie Anderson's nice week?
I would rather play Mike Williams in a game like this where there should be a lot of points. We remember week 1, Keenan Allen 8 for 108 and a touchdown. Week 1, Mike Williams had 81 yards. Sorry.
No. I was just say the problem is if you play Mike Williams this week, like you might not get that choice because he could be that flex guy for Beckham or some other injury, and you won't get it. You get that opportunity to wait till Sunday to figure out. So I mean, I'm not obviously playing Mike Williams. I'm not forcing him into my lineup, but I guess between those two, you'd pick Mike Williams.
Between Tyrell Williams and Mike Williams? Yeah, I think I would pick Mike Williams. Tyrell had the touchdown in week 1. Mike Williams had the yards in week 1. One of those two will have a good game. I just can't imagine.
Who do you think wins this game, by the way?
I think the Kansas City Chiefs still pull it off.
You do?
I do.
Okay. In week 1, for what it's worth, Kansas City won 38-28. Mahomes had 4 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 169 yards. Tyreek Hill seems to have Casey Hayward's number when they match up. It's always been a good situation for Tyreek Hill. Jason, that probably hurts you in your soul because you are hoping Tyreek Hill struggles and you win in Dynasty.
Tyreek Hill's a bump. He's never going to amount to anything. He's going to be bad this week in fantasy football.
Number 1 wide receiver on the season.
My only solace. Oh shoot! Yeah, no, this game's at home, right? Yeah, Tyreek Hill is a much better road player than a home player. I don't know why, but fantasy-wise, he has his big explosion games usually on the road, like that 7 for 169 and 2 touchdown game was in Los Angeles.
Our editor Kyle had the question: can you start one of the Willie Bros? So he's now trying to name Tyrell Williams and Mike Williams the Willie Bros. I don't think you want to go there, Kyle. I don't think so.
No, I'm not going to talk about the Willie Bros. I'm I'm going to be honest, it gives me a little bit of the willies.
Yeah, I'm staying away.
Hey, don't forget this holiday season to send the gift of Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter Fantasy in the search bar, just right on their homepage, and you'll get 74% off Omaha Steaks family gift package. It's now only $49.99. Order today. You'll get hand-cut sirloin steaks, premium pork chops, kielbasa sausages, burgers, so much more. Go to omahasteaks.com, type Fantasy in the search bar, and add the family gift package to your cart, and you might just want to get one for your friends and one for yourself.
Yeah, it's always best to get one for them, one for you in most of these situations.
Better to give than receive.
Better to give and receive.
But better to give and receive.
Yeah, not bad. Hope you enjoyed the show today. We're going to get into all of the Week 15 matchup breakdowns on tomorrow's show. Again, we'll have the injury updates for Thursday and Friday, and then ultimately in the live stream on Sunday morning. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. Click the bell so you're notified when we go live right before the games on Sunday morning. Mike will be live on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and everywhere, pretty much. Twitch. Yeah, Brooks, not bad on O'Reilly, but also not good.
Gotta keep practicing.
Yeah. You're fine. You're fine.
We love you.
You'll get there.
You're the best producer in the world,
That
Brooks.
we've ever had.
And if you want to play DFS with us, check out draft.com/ballers.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.